You're watching Racing360 as we continue our preview of the $6 million Emirates Melbourne Cup. In recent years, the race has fallen into foreign hands. Will it again this year? Well, Red Caddo went close last year, and by all reports, his trainer Ed Dunlop suggesting that he's in better form this year than he was last year because they've specifically targeted him towards the Melbourne Cup, and I think that's the key to this horse's chances.
And some of his runs in the Northern Hemisphere have been very good. This day he finished third to Fiorente, has been picked up by Gay Waterhouse, which is an interesting acquisition, and she really hasn't had too much of a chance to lay eyes on the horse.
Strange situation, isn't it? Flying in a helicopter to check out your new horse and prep him just a few weeks out from a Melbourne Cup. For mine, the term that keeps coming up in the form comments of this horse is one-paced, and that doesn't sort of read well for a Melbourne Cup. It's not the sort of a tribute we want. Red Caddo, I'm prepared to forgive him that day. The jockey seemed to me to go pretty early, and he was on the, I don't know if it was the wrong side of the track, but the far side on his own, left in lane, a long way from home.
Fiorente is the latest addition to Gay Waterhouse's team and only been in her care for a couple of weeks. She hasn't had much time to cast an eye over the horse.
Fabulous. Michael sent him down under in superb condition, and I rang him once we'd purchased the horse, and he gave me some information on how he was training him and what he was doing with him. He then went to the caretaker trainer, Ed Vaughan, and Ed suggested that maybe he might be better in blinkers. When he came down here the other day, I tried them on him with young James McDonald, and he said the same thing. He said, I think it'll really suit him and get him to relax. And you saw him work this morning, and he was just exactly that.
He looks to be well in the cup with 53.5. Are you happy with that?
Well, yes, I'm not saying he's tossed into the cup. The horse that ran second last year is very well weighted on the same weight and has been here and done it, so to speak. But this is a horse that's got a lovely turn of foot, as we saw when he won at Newmarket in July.
He looks to like the soft going. Is that something you'd be hoping for come Tuesday?
Well, not if this wind keeps up. But look, I don't think it'd make any difference with him from what I can see. And you know, I've only had limited exposure to the horse, but I can't see that any condition will much worry him. I think he's pretty easy book to read.
Formerly with Sir Michael Stout, a Group 2 winner at his last start, Fiorente beating Red Caddo.
In that interview, touched on the wet track sort of scenario, and the long-range forecast suggests that there may be a little bit of rain around on Melbourne Cup Day. It would suit Fiorente. Interesting addition, the blinkers going on this horse with James McDonald riding. I'm prepared to sort of bypass the horse anyway.
Yeah, not the right horse for the Cup, I don't think, and just question marks about the prep as well. If you do take it, you're taking it on trust to some degree. I'm not prepared to do that.
Fair enough. He's gone close. Luca Kamani. Is this his year to win the Melbourne Cup?
Boy, it's been heartbreak on a couple of occasions, hasn't it? Bauer going very, very close. But in terms of his runner in this year's Cup, Mount Athos, is coming into it a fresh horse. He knows the pattern, Luca, but he's been very clear in saying that even though the record is against horses that haven't had a run in Australia, the fact that this horse is going in fresh suits the individual, and that is the key.
I think Luca Kamani's had a lot of experience now trying to find the right horse, and I just think the Europeans in general are finding the better suited horses to these conditions, and he's got exactly that, an explosive turn of foot. That's what makes this horse a real chance in this race, as well as the 54 kilograms. The negatives, going in 11 weeks without a run. The record says it's been nearly 20 years, 60 plus runners since a horse did win the Melbourne Cup first up. That was vintage crop. I think it's going to happen more and more in the future as the race changes shape, but I still think far more preferable to have a run under Australian conditions first going in.
It's been mentioned in dispatches that Mount Athos is the best Cup horse Luke has ever brought to Australia. It's a big call, isn't it?
There's a lot of confidence in the camp, there's no doubt about that. The ride will go to Ryan Moore, and that will be his first ride at Flemington, also in Australia, a man that will be coming straight from the United States to touch down in Melbourne and have his chance in the big one.
Godolphin. This is one of the great races to elude them, one of few around the world, and they'll be represented by two horses, Cavalryman and Lost in a Moment.
Give the slip in Central Park, a couple of horses that have gone very close and unsuccessful. Be a big moment for Frankie Dettori if he was able to combine with Cavalryman and do the job. I just sense that this horse is not in the right sort of form, not the right stage of his career. Just not convinced that he's going to be competitive. But in saying that, if you want to have a go, you're getting 50 to 1 or more.
I think they should be 50 to 1 or more. I think they're just there because the boys in blue want to have a couple of runners in the great race. To put it bluntly, I don't like what I'm hearing from the camp even about their chances, about them being genuine winning chances in the race.
If they want to win the Cup, they need to bring better quality horses down under. Moving on now to Dermot Wells. He knows how to win the Melbourne Cup. He's got an interesting chance, Galileo's Choice.
Quite like the profile of this horse, and I like it because Dermot Wells likes it, and he knows, as you mentioned, what it takes to have the right sort of horse to win the race. If you look through his Northern Hemisphere form, the horse that he beat last start ran very well in the Irish St Ledger. So this smacks of another coup, and they've started to warm to the horse, the market, around 17 to 1.
I have to say, when I do look through a European's form, one thing I don't look for is being beaten in a novice hurdle over 3,300 metres at Cheltenham in March. But you're right, another trainer with great experience in the race. And look, I think he's a good outside chance just at the odds that he's been put up. I'm with your gut feeling there as well.
Bart Cummings has an extraordinary record in the Melbourne Cup, winning it 12 times. Can he make it the Baker's dozen with Precedence, which ran 11th in the race last year? Just
didn't like his last start run, and I know Bart has a record of being able to turn runs around, but I don't think what he did last start is good enough. Incidentally, there are a number of other horses, Joe, that sort of sit outside of the 24 that will be hoping for some attrition. A number of horses that will be lining up in the Lexus and also the McKinnon on Saturday, Derby Day, hoping to get in last ditch with the winner of both those races going through. Gatewood is one of those horses who was very, very strong in the Geelong Cup, and there are a number of horses in behind like Briganton, Back in Black, a Lucky Day who was in the field. So, you know, these sort of horses, if they get into the Cup, you'd have to think would be competitive, but that's the thing. And the Geelong Cup has proven to be almost now the #1 stepping stone towards Melbourne Cup glory. It has, but this Geelong Cup for mine, not. I don't think we learned anything other than the horses are actually here in Australia, because it was just run so slowly. It looked to me that I don't think we can just take much out of that this year. We could talk all day about the Melbourne Cup. Let's cut a sway through the field now and get to the business end of things with our selections. Dunedin, a peak run for mine, a career best, and I don't think with the weight spread, I mean, he's got to carry 59, but it's about what he's got to give the others, and I just don't think they can make up that ground on him. Americain, Red Cadeau, again on a similar pattern to last year, and a horse on the outside looking in, just outside of the field at the moment, Shawadi. They're going to roll the dice. They're not going to try and force their way into the field. They're going to hope to get a run. I like that. And if it does get a run, it showed a great turn of foot in the Herbert Power, and I think it's a winning chance. And Joe, outside of my fall there, I'll be looking to play Galileo's Choice in addition to 4. So that's 5 runners out of 24. So we're all in agreement that the French will taste victory again on the first Tuesday in November. Certainly are, Joe. It's going to be a great race. It sure is, and you'll see it all live here in Hong Kong on our simulcast. Plus, don't miss Derby Day tomorrow. Thanks for your company on Racing 360. See you again soon.